Howdy, friends. Fast Eddie Layne from Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. Thank you for clicking on the video. Greatly appreciate it. Do me a favor, click the subscribe button. That way you can keep track of the latest things happening with the Beyond Ringside family of shows. Also, don't forget, BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and of course, the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry. Until next time, once again, thank you. We do appreciate it. And thank you for going Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.
Welcome to the original Rockin' Wrestling Radio Show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Layne.
And I want to say greetings, good evening, how you doing? On this 13th day of March, grill's about to be fired up. We're going to have a human sacrifice later. I would say we're going to try to sacrifice a virgin, but you know how that goes. MaBo, you know of any?
No.
Live from Studio One, yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, welcoming in tag team partner, the one, the only, Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, brother? How we doing?
What's up?
Thank you to everybody listening in this afternoon through BeyondRingside.com. Of course, the Beyond Ringside radio app, TuneIn mobile app, Shoutcast, Winamp, Ustream, all the different methodologies on the live side. Going to cover the as-aired versions a little bit later. It has been fun. It has been a good weekend. And the funny thing about it is, I watched one match out of Roadblock last night, and that was the NXT tag team title match. Enzo and Colin versus the Revival. Dash and Dawson are the real deal. I've genuinely appreciated what they've done as a tag team, but by the same token, Cassidy and Amore, excellent. Always have been. And after having watched a previous tag team title match between these two, I didn't expect a tag team title change. But by the same token, what I did hope for was another excellent match. Because you get these four in the ring, and you add Carmella at ringside. That's fine, great, wonderful. Hot. Real cute, too. It's going to come down to the simple... Oh, we had a photo finish over in Arizona. Or is that overtime? Final. Kevin Harvick just won Phoenix. Carl Edwards in second. Denny Hamlin third. Kyle Busch fourth. Dale Jr. ended up fifth. And those are the main notables that I would actually want to keep track of. So I'll leave it at that. I'll cover that a little bit more in depth in just a little while. Carl gave it one hell of a run at the final lap. They came out of a caution, went into overtime. That's one of the reasons why I've been a little bit... We were running just a couple minutes late. But other than that, yeah, it's just... You know me. It's racing season. I'm a happy fat man. The only other time is when Bama wins the national championship, and I'm good because they did that too this year. But now, seriously, I know you. We spoke off air, and you said you did not get a chance to see Roadblock last night. But
No, I didn't say that.
oh, I thought you said off air that you missed it. I'm sorry.
No. I said I didn't know that it was going to be on. I still watched it, though.
Oh, okay. Well, you saw more of it than I did. First off, your thoughts.
All of it.
NXT Tag Team... once again, you saw more than I did. Once again, Tag Team title match, NXT. Your thoughts on that one?
It was great. I mean, I don't know what their deal is. I don't know if they're waiting for NXT TakeOver Dallas for some higher stakes to, put the titles on the line or whatever. But it's either that or just go ahead and call Big Cass and Enzo up because, they've been touring with the main roster. So, do one of two things. Put the belts on them or go ahead and call them up because, they need to be on a bigger stage. I'm afraid if they did get to the main roster, they would get lost in the shuffle. But at the same time, I think, they need to have some recognition. I know pretty much belts mean nothing these days, but I just want to see them. I think they could do so much more as champions.
And therein lies the funny part for me because, I mean, me, I've always appreciated tag team wrestling. Always have, always will. One of the first teams I ever managed in pro wrestling back many, many years ago was a tag team, the Blue Infernos. And I have a genuine, true respect because it's in my roots. And to see what both teams have done, I just wonder, now, logically speaking, putting the world in proper perspective, and there's the first time I'll use the phrase today, which team do you honestly think will do better on the main roster? Dash and Dawson or Enzo and Colin? Yeah, God, just tripped over my own damn tongue all over again. I hate it when that happens. Enzo and Colin or the Revival? Which do you think would really do better?
Honestly, I would say Enzo and Big Cass. For the simple fact, sorry, my eyeball was itching there.
It's okay.
Because they're just more, I guess, I don't want to, if I say TV ready, it's going to sound weird or wrong. But I just think that Enzo and Big Cass are more main roster ready. They've got more of a we've got a better mainstream appearance.
Do you think
like that would work on television? I mean, unless they're just going to immediately bring Dash and Dawson in and just have them
continue the feud?
Well, no. But I mean, like if you choose not to bring up Cass and Enzo, but if you put the Revival, which I think is a stupid name, if you choose to put them on the main roster, they're going to have to go out there and they're going to have to like break somebody, come up to an angle where they're breaking people's arms or doing something to show that they're no nonsense. Because if not, if you just bring them up as like bill them or try to push them as an old school tag team, that's not going to work for very long.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I think because of the way that the New Day is getting over and the fans are now starting to glom onto them and try to turn them face, that may or may not have C-blocked bringing up Enzo and Big Cass.
Logical progression. You kind of answered my question that I was about to ask, but I'm going to go and ask it anyway because you were making the reference to the Revival in and of itself, and I'm going to go and ask this question. I personally, once again, dig the fact that they're like a throwback to Blanchard and Anderson. But by the same token, are they too much of a throwback for the current day Raw television style? In your opinion?
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
It's okay.
I mean, ew. Honestly, I
was waiting.
I think they are. Oh, gross.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it's. Oh, there's a lot of. Gee, I wonder why I'm sneezing. But I think they might be. They're just a little too old school.
Because I remember when Paragon Pro was on Pop TV, and one of the characters they had, the Gentleman Brawler, was, in my book, a great television character and a great throwback character. And the guy he does it right. He sells it beautifully. But as far as being a top-tier champion, I could never see that. And unfortunately, in WWE, there's still only one set of tag team titles. That is, once again, where I genuinely wish they could keep it together long enough to put the world back into a split formation. Raw versus SmackDown. Bring in the WWE tag team titles and the World Tag Team titles, split them back up, put the emphasis, let both shows have an emphasis on tag team wrestling. NXT strong enough. But I still have to sit back and say, the whole roster could be stronger if they knew what they were doing and how they were doing it. And thus that could bring back bragging rights as well, to where once a year, okay, fine, or at Mania, you could let the two teams go after each other. Idea, bouncing it off of you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I think I went a little bit too long for me to even repeat. But, no, I was making a reference to the roster split. And you could have the throwbacks on SmackDown. You could have Enzo and Colin on Raw. I think the styles of the shows would fit perfectly. And then, once again, break apart the tag team titles. Put one on Raw, one on SmackDown. Don't let them cross over, except maybe twice a year. Maybe Mania and bragging rights. Bring that one back.
But then if you do that, are you going to have enough tag teams, though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand completely. I think you could. But by the same token, I'm also going to sit back and say, I do believe in granted, money's money. And that is always a wonderful thing. You can never have too much of it. Just ask the Rothschilds Foundation, the Koch brothers, or George Soros. You can never have too much money. But you can have a situation where a 3-hour Raw has run its course. No matter how much money Vince is making off of it. Because in my book, they've got the same problem going on now that they had with WCW. 3-hour Nitro, 2-hour Thunder, trying to program 5+ hours, and then you also have to put together everything for house shows and then superstars. I mean, that is one of the reasons why NXT is as popular as it is. Old school rule of entertainment, real school rule of entertainment, always leave them wanting more. NXT does that. That's why the tour is virtually selling out everywhere. That's why the demand for the product is there. Because it's only what it is per week. And maybe some behind the scenes stuff. Okay. Whereas with WWE's main roster product, it is still oversaturated in my book, even with just cutting back to 2 shows and putting 1 on the network. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
No, you don't have to say it in the form of a question. You can do a demonstrative statement. But
I don't know.
But I'm going to throw it back to you for a minute. High point from a Roadblock last night, Mark.
Honestly, high point was it was great all around. I mean, it was great all around. I hate, you know me, I'm going to play favorites, sort of, but it was the NXT tag match. That was the high point. And, of course, Sami Zayn versus Stardust, I thought was great. Like I said, I mean, it was all great. You know, from the opening to, main event with Triple H and Dean Ambrose. So,
well, that was one of the things that I was going to look at yesterday on Shooter's Gallery. Unfortunately, due to extenuating circumstances, we were not able to air. I do have a change in. I'm going to go ahead and break this one loose. A couple of things. We're 15 minutes before the top of the hour on the live side. Going to be joined by a good friend of the family, Stephen Frye, with Big Time Wrestling, coming up right at the top of the hour. Great event coming up for Big Time and for Stephen up in the very near future, up in the Mid-Atlantic area. Plans are in the works on a number of different fronts. Already getting things in place for Tuesday night, which is actually going to be a split broadcast between GCW Radio at 8 p.m. Central Time and Back to Basics at 9. Information is going to be forthcoming. From there, we'll have a special roundtable edition of Corner to Corner a little bit later this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. Stan, Rob, and Bryant back on Sunday nights this week. And we are probably going to go and make that a full-scale move from, with the exception of Mania Sunday. So, we're still working on those plans right now, too. There's some road trips in the near future. I'll just go ahead and pull that cat out of the hat real quick, too. So, also, for Mania being right around the corner, of course, we are going to be going early before Mania. 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central Time. Live straight through the lower 48 and around the world through the app. And we're going to be going right up until Mania starts. Not going to worry about a pre-show or anything like that. We'll be here for the full 2 hours on Sunday, April 3, from 4 p.m. Central till 6, when Mania itself kicks off in a special 4-hour edition. Oh, my God. But, I'm going to throw the curveball, and there's 100 questions that I want to put out there about everything from Ring of Honor this week to Lucha Underground. SmackDown, of course, in my book, gaining even more ground. But I have to ask this question. And I know that you don't watch SmackDown that often. You kind of fast forward through it. And it's what conversation we've had off air before. But did you catch any of the diatribe from Chris Jericho why he turned on AJ Styles?
I think they played a little bit of it last night before his match with Swagger. But I wasn't really paying attention.
That had the biggest probability of turning into a estrogen-based Maury Povich moment than anything that I've seen in a while. And the only person that can ever really walk that tightrope is Chris Jericho. I don't know how he manages to pull it off, but he does. And lo and behold, amazingly enough, Y2J does actually pull it off, sounding less like he's PMSing than anything else. Not more like, less than. And by the same token, I know they're trying to they need to put things in place, and I'm pretty much sure it's going to be a lock. But considering the fact that they've already had the matches that they've had, if you take Jericho Styles to WrestleMania, what is one thing they are going to have to do, in your opinion, Mark, to make it more memorable than the previous matches they've already had? Other than a human sacrifice.
Honestly, I couldn't begin to fathom.
Well, in my book, and I'm going to give you a second to think about it on this one now, because with the matches that they've had previously, they've been top-tier matches that you would hope to get out of 2 stars the caliber of Styles and Jericho. But by the same token, and granted, it was almost like the Owen Cena series, they continued to get even better. I just wonder what you have other than give them a little bit more time to work on Mania, which time's going to be at a premium. Time is going to be a damn premium item.
Yeah.
I
would say an Iron Man match, or an Iron Man match would be a dream match, but at Mania, like you said, you got time constraints. You can't say ladder match, because more than likely, if they don't do Owens, Sami Zayn,
that's where I'm going with that one.
Then the U.S. title will probably be, who is the U.S. title holder right now? Kalisto.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the one that gets dangling from the thing this year. So other than that, because you couldn't really do a falls count anywhere because it's going to be too big.
Right.
And they haven't really jumped each other enough to enforce like a no DQ or, I don't know.
With stars of their caliber and the way that they've handled this storyline, you really can't pull out cage match. There's no incentive for a ladder match. There's first blood, no way.
Nah.
I've run all this in my head. I've run every statistical possibility about how this could be how they could build into a pure blow-off match at Mania.
Short of like a a retirement match, but, Jericho will just be back, so.
I'm a heel. Heels lie. That's exactly what he put on his Twitter account one time when it was talking about him retiring.
Oh.
That's it. I quit. 2 days later, he's back. People are on him on Twitter. I'm a heel. Heels lie. It's like, yeah, I believe it. I can live with that.
But, I mean, if it was, in the contract or something, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's just, I don't know what they could.
Well,
yeah, that's just one of those where you just, you're flummoxed.
Yeah, exactly. And from that vantage point, I have to put the world in perspective. You kind of teased on it a second ago. I'm going to go ahead and bring it on out. One of the things that I'm actually looking forward to, considering the bad blood between, and they're reigniting the feud between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I genuinely feel that they are going to go ahead and do ladder match, i.e., flashback to Ladder War, Sting Generico, for WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to put that on an NXT show. I think they're going to go ahead and take that straight to Mania.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, Kevin Owens, when he was Kevin Steen, he never faced Sami Zayn in any kind of ladder match.
I said Sting Generico.
Yeah, but that's Generico. That's a completely different guy.
Oh, God.
Everybody knows that.
Okay, Marky Mark.
Dude, I worked with one of the adopted kids that El Generico, when El Generico left, El Generico retired, and he went down to South America, Peru, I believe, and he's working at an orphanage.
Just stop.
And I had the privilege. No, listen to me. Just hear me out. I had the privilege of last week at Twin States Wrestling, working with El Generico, one of the kids that El Generico had adopted and taken under his wing, and bestowed the mantle of El Generico upon him. But now I'm sure when Sami Zayn was coming up in the Quebec area or something, he and Steen might have crossed paths a couple times in their rookie year, but.
Well, you know how close Sami Zayn and El Generico are, so I'm willing to bet you the fact that since the river runs deep between the two, and of course you've got the feud that stood out for a long time between Kevin Steen and El Generico, noticing the fact that they've gone ahead and brought out the fact that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been longtime friends and longtime rivals, I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn picked up the El Generico gauntlet and challenged Kevin Owens to ladder war or a ladder match for the Intercontinental title to try to replicate the dream matches that were ladder war between Steen and Generico.
Oh, well, now that makes, a lot more sense than you sitting there saying that Steen and, Zayn or Generico and the thing. And now that makes sense. He's just defending his friend's honor.
And the bullet is really Bob Armstrong, right?
Well, yeah, it's right there in his name.
There you go.
But, everybody knows El Generico and
Sami
Zayn
Zayn
are two different guys.
Okay. You know that the Midnight Rider was really Dusty Rhodes.
No, there's two different guys.
Okay. Merry Christmas. Santa will be there soon.
Look, just because you are confused doesn't mean the rest of the people are confused, okay? All right. Just saying.
Just saying, right?
My God, man.
Okay, and I know you and I have not had a chance to speak on this, and you haven't had a chance to go public about it, but I do want to go and throw this one to you. As the week progressed, and of course we found out last week, but like I said, since everything else has been in play, Big Boss Man going WWE Hall of Fame, brother. Your thoughts on that one?
I'm trying to say this so it doesn't come off dickish or anything.
I didn't know Justice was here.
Oh, Justice is always here. Actually, today Tunsy had on a Dick Justice shirt.
I saw.
I guess because WWE's trying to do the smart move and pepper their inductions with two quote unquote big names, and then throughout the rest they have the other ones not-sos or maybe the ones who never really wrestled for the WWF, WWE. But did he? I mean, he definitely was a mainstay through the 80s and the early 90s, and then early to mid 90s, and then when he jumped back to WCW, and we kind of want to pretend that didn't exist,
Right?
Because I mean, he was the Guardian Angel, and then the Guardian Angels didn't like that, so I think he just became the Guardian, and then he he was the boss. No, he was the boss.
No, not just boss.
No, I thought he was the boss.
No, just boss.
And then that didn't work, so he became Guardian Angel, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he was Big Bubba Rogers before anything else, and that's what I'll always remember him by.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, because if everybody remembers him, if there's one thing in his pre-Big Boss Man days that everybody remembers was him completely missing Jim Cornette.
Yep.
So, but, he was definitely a mainstay through the 80s and 90s, and then he left, did the whole NWO thing. That, waste of talent, if you ask me, as far as he goes. But then, he came back to the WWE, redeemed himself. He was rocking that awesome SWAT gear, he's part of the corporation and the corporate ministry. And then him and Bull Buchanan had a tag team. Some people would like to forget the driving the big show around while dragging his quote unquote father's coffin, and feeding Al Snow's Chihuahua to him, allegedly. But I mean, did he have a Hall of Fame career? I guess. I mean, it's really what you judge, Hall of Fame standards on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, is he good to put in the class? I mean, are there other people that I think should go before him? Yeah, there's a few, and I'm not talking like the big names that everybody's waiting on, like that guy or that other guy, Owen Hart, or some other people, but even like Rick Rude. But I think I've got no problem with it. I'll be honest with you, I have no problem with it. Might have an issue with the Godfather going in. If you really want to do that. But I think to me, when it comes to stuff like that, it's just okay. Who put in long-term service for the company?
Yeah, there's one person that is still a glaring omission. Actually, two in my book that we're actually probably going to talk a lot more in depth tonight on Corner to Corner. At least they are, because they're going to run with my ideas. But this one I have not brought up on air in quite a while. We are right at the top of the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and sign us out on this note because we're going to be joined by Stephen Frye in just a minute. From that vantage point, let me go ahead and say this: two that need to be in there. One, the model Rick Martel.
Well, I wouldn't say the model Rick Martel. I would say
Rick Martel, period. But most the later fans knew him as the model. But Rick Martel deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
What he did in the AWA,
Well, remember, he's a former two-time WWE Tag Team Champion.
WWF Tag Team.
Whatever. They modify it. They change it. The F doesn't exist anymore unless it's on pre-recorded media.
And also, in his later years, he had that tremendous series of matches with Booker T. Sort of like in the waning days of WCW.
Yeah, and then go from there. The other one that is a glaring omission in my book, if this is a legitimate Hall of Fame Vince McMahon, I'm calling you out on it. Why isn't former WWF Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion Ivan Koloff not in the Hall of Fame?
You sure Ivan Koloff?
Positive.
Are you sure?
Okay, if he's in the Hall of Fame, Ivan himself doesn't know about it.
Well, we know Uncle Ivan's gotten on in years.
Yeah, sure, but he's also still sharp as a tack. in more ways than one. Folks, tell you what, going to go to the top of the hour break. We will be back in just a minute. As I said, going to be joined by a good friend of the family, Mr. Stephen Frye, right here on Beyond Ringside Live.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Oh, yes, this is Paul Bearer, and some people call me Percy Pringle III. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is Evan Ginsberg, associate producer of the movie The Wrestler, host of Legends Radio and Legends TV, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live on this Sunday night, March 13th, 2016. Halfway point almost achieved. No more roadblocks. That's all I'm going to say. No more roadblocks. If we hit a roadblock, I'm going to go up to Discount Car Depot up in North Carolina, and I'm going to get a way to get around that. That's all. Either that, I'm going to drive through the damn thing. Fast Eddie Layne on this side of the control panel, welcoming back in tag team partner Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, brother MaBo?
Yeah, buddy.
Exactly. And like to welcome in good friend of the family, Mr. Stephen Frye. Stephen, how you been doing?
I've been doing wonderful, Eddie. How about yourself?
It's been chaos, controlled chaos all the way across the board. Now, I've always had you put directly in place with big-time wrestling. Am I still right on that?
Right.
That's what I thought. See, every once in a while, I've been known to stick my foot in my mouth, but every once in a while, I actually remember it doesn't taste good, so I don't do it.
Right.
It's been one of those weeks. Now, first off, we go quite a ways back to where you were dealing with a specific medical condition, and the last that I had heard, you had taken a baseball bat to it, correct?
Yes, sir, I have. I battled it twice. It was Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer,
right,
which is a blood cancer. In the same, how they described it to me, it's a blood cancer in the same family as leukemia. And after a year of radiation, 6 months of radiation and 6 months of chemo, I defeated it. I was diagnosed in October of 2012, and in October of 2013, they said there was no sign of any active cancer cells. At that point in time, I tried to get them to say I was cancer-free, but of course, you know how the doctors are, they would not say that. They just said no signs of any active cancer cells. 6 months later, in April of 2014, it returned. So then I had my chemo changed. During the first bout, I would go get chemo for 2 hours every 2 weeks. You know, just one day, and it'd last 2.5 hours. The second time, I was facing a bone marrow transplant. So I had to go and get chemo on 3 different occasions leading into that. And those were in-house chemo. So I would be, admitted to the hospital for 5 days for each of those chemo rounds. And then I had the bone marrow transplant in November. I think November the 6th of 2014 was the official date. And so since then, I've been 15 months in remission. So we've whooped cancer twice up here.
Now,
and I'm very thankful of that.
the word, I was going to say now, to me, the word congratulations always seems to be an understatement in a circumstance like that. But, I mean, and it always seems like you're downplaying a lot of things when you say something as simple as congratulations. But I will sit back and say prayer does work.
Yes, sir, it does. Yes, sir. And I'm living proof of it. If there's anybody out there who don't believe it, I'm living proof.
Oh, yeah. Porkchop's living proof of that. You thought I forgot the nickname, didn't you?
Yeah. I like the way you worked it in, too.
Not a problem. Now, and one thing that you've done throughout this entire situation, coming out of both rounds and the progression back to, I would dare say, as close to full health as possible, is you never backed away from pro wrestling. You never walked away from it. You never put it down. You continued working front office as well as promoting. And
yes,
you had been running big time wrestling throughout the entire thing, including a benefit show. And
well, actually, now it's Big Time Wrestling Carolinas.
Okay.
We were Big Time Wrestling here. And then there's another Big Time Wrestling organization from the north who came into this area, and they run very good shows. But I realized that they had been running at that longer than we have. So instead of just completely changing our name, we just threw Carolinas on the end. They were happy with it, which they didn't have a problem with me running this Big Time Wrestling, but I did want to separate us.
Right.
Know? So now it's Big Time Wrestling Carolinas. So, but we still run the same top quality shows that we were running before.
Now, you're based out of Mocksville, North Carolina primarily, but you have been known to run a few other cities, right?
Well, we basically stay here because we've kind of built a fan base here, and it's so hard when you go into a different city that doesn't know you to start. I mean, just to start, period, it's hard.
Right.
But then you factor in all the bad promoters that have possibly burnt sponsors or different venues or such as that in the other cities, which makes it double tough.
Right.
So since we've had success here and we have built a following, we pretty much stay right in this little area, you know.
Okay.
But it just works for us. And not to say that we wouldn't look into somewhere else later down the road, but right now this was working. So Mama always told us, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Very true.
So we're not trying to, you know. I think that's part of what happened to Jim Crockett. You know, they just tried to get too big too fast, and we don't want to do that.
It has been known to happen. Now, for those who don't know, I want to go ahead and ask. I don't know about the latest goings-on. I'm a little bit behind. I apologize for that. Roll call of champions right now for Big Time Wrestling.
Well, right now we're getting ready to crown our first Big Time Wrestling Carolinas heavyweight champion. We'll do that April the 9th here in Mocksville. In the match that we're crowning our champion, it's TNA stars, former TNA stars, Crimson and Gunner, and current former Ring of Honor star and current Lucha Underground star, Reyes, in a three-way dance. So the winner of that match will be crowned our first Big Time Wrestling Carolinas heavyweight champion, and we're hoping to crown tag champions in the fall.
Very nice, very nice. Actually, I was hoping you would lead with the tag team championships first, because, or the upcoming tag team title situation first, because going straight into the April the 9th show. Now, that in the main event, Crimson, Tommy Mercer, Gunner, a lot of people still recognize that name as the Universal Soldier, Phil Shatter from the old NWA run, the national heavyweight champion, and of course Ricky Reyes, very well known nationally, national superstar. That is going to be a tremendous triple threat or three-way dance, however you want to put it. Everybody,
right. It's been tagged with many names, but yes, you're right. Three-way dance, triple threat. You know, I'm sure it's been called something else too, somewhere.
Oh,
know?
yeah, I know. Three-way dance, triple threat. There's more ways to do it than I've got active brain cells. But
Oh, yeah.
seeing these three going into that main event, that's a genuine case of anything could conceivably happen, because you've got three top flight stars that are going to be battling to establish themselves as the premier, the first ever champion for an organization. And you know that always sticks with people.
That's right. The first champion has always seems like it has the most prestige to it than somebody who's, just captured the title who 20 people have already had.
Right.
The first one always seems to have a little prestige to it.
Now,
And then also on that show, Terry Funk, the hardcore icon, movie star, WWE Hall of Famer, is going to make an appearance. And any time that Terry Funk is in the building, anything can happen. I mean, your guess is as good as mine what he'll do. I mean, we've seen it throughout his entire career.
very true.
Back in the WWE, he attacked a ring attendant for putting on his hat. I mean, the WCW stuff, ECW. I mean, anytime Terry Funk is in the building, madness could take place.
Oh, you can go all the way back to a empty arena brawl between Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler, which that one I remember that one to this day. It's always
very classic stuff. It was great.
I mean, if there is one person that can be the epitome of the phrase "a walking Kodak moment" in pro wrestling, it's got to be Terry Funk, because you genuinely never know what he's going to do and when he's going to do it.
That's right. Who was it? Michael Irvin, one time, or I'm not sure, or is it one of the more recent Cowboys said, "Get your popcorn ready"? Who was it? I forget, but I mean that.
It may have been Michael Irvin.
Thing. Yeah, that's a Terry Funk thing. Get your popcorn ready. Who knows what's going to happen?
Now, in addition to that, there was a rumor going around that Terry was going to be doing a seminar. Is that going to be in place?
Yes, for any professional wrestler, manager, referee who wants to better themselves, because right now with the announcement that NXT is fixing to start touring, they're looking to expand their roster. TNA and, of course, ROH are always looking to expand their roster.
Right.
So, you indie wrestlers need to ask yourself, what are you doing to get noticed? What are you doing to better yourself so that these companies will take a look at you? If you seriously ask yourself those questions, then this seminar is a no-brainer. This man has been there, he's done that, and he can tell you what it takes to get there. Tell you what they're looking for and what you need to do to make them take notice. So, yes, he has given a seminar earlier in the day from 1 to 3. So, especially for guys in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, you're done by 3. If you have a booking that night, you still have time to get there. So there's really no reason why you would not want to take the seminar if you're looking to make a living in this business.
Right.
The man has a wealth of knowledge that he is willing to share. It's just they need to take the first step to get, they need to take the step. We're providing the platform for them to do that. It's up to them to actually take the step to say, hey, I want to be better. I want to get noticed. I want to make it to the WWE. I want to be on Raw. If you want these things, this seminar's for you. And he will be holding it there at the Armory on the day of the show, April the 9th. We have an event page for that with all the information and the contact info. And I'm sure that maybe you'll post these things on the Beyond Ringside website or Facebook page for them to see and, try to figure out if it's going to be feasible for them to make it or if they want to.
Oh, let me tell you something. If it doesn't matter what part of the area you're in, if you're up and down the Eastern Seaboard and you get a chance to do a seminar with a legend of professional wrestling like Terry Funk, a man who always had a great mind for the business, always great in-ring performer, and then some, knew how to work a microphone, knew how to cut the promo. I mean, if you have a chance like that, it doesn't matter if you're 2 states away. This is a short road trip to even pull that off. I mean,
yeah, I actually have some guys from New York coming.
Nice.
So that shows you how much they want it.
Right.
Actually, I think it kind of makes some of the guys around here look ashamed. I've got guys coming from New York, but yet I've got guys that live 3 hours away or 2 hours away.
Yeah, I know.
I say, oh, well, we'll book that night. Well, it's over at 3. You still have plenty of time to make your booking. But hey, it's all in how bad do you want it.
Now, let me ask you
That's
about
what it boils down to.
Let me ask you about a match that has been advertised for the show, and I want to make because I know in pro wrestling everything is always subject to change without notice. One of the matches that I've noticed is Rick Converse taking on Zane Dawson.
Yes, sir. Rick Converse is the PWI International Heavyweight Champion, and PWI is it's an organization kind of like the NWA, but it's a lot smaller. They have a lot of independent promoters who are a part of it. And he's the international heavyweight champion for them, and he's coming to our show to defend it against Zane Dawson, the one-man Riot Squad, who is also, he was on the show Lizard Lick Cohen,
right,
as Earl from Alaska. So, and you Lizard Lick fans that watch that show, then you know who Earl is. That's the one-man Riot Squad, Zane Dawson, who is a fantastic professional wrestler. I mean, he reminds me so much of Bruiser Brody. Not just in his look, but in his style. He's actually, I think, patterned himself after Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen.
Nice.
So that's his work style. He's phenomenal wrestler. I'm actually looking really forward to that one.
Let me also ask you about the confrontation slated to go down on that night crowning of a champion from Big Time Wrestling Carolinas, Chet Sterling and Smith Garrett going one-on-one.
Yes, Smith Garrett is the reigning CWF Mid-Atlantic television champion. They have their own internet television show, and Chet Sterling was the former champion. I don't think Smith defeated Chet for the title, but I think he was, due to unfortunate circumstances, was relieved of his title, in another match. And now Smith has it, and he's granting one of the former champions a shot. This is also another match I'm really looking forward to. These guys, they're really young, and they can really go. Ashley Smith reminds me a lot of Ziggler in his work ethic and style, and just phenomenal guy. And of course Chet, I mean, he's great. I don't know if I can really pick a person in today's, television that he reminds me of. He's just phenomenal. This match is another one I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping I actually have time to sit down that night and watch. A lot of times at my shows, I don't,
Right.
People will say, hey, what did you think of this? Dude, I just look up and say, dude, honestly, I didn't even get to see it. I was running around and doing this and that. I missed it. Sometimes it's 2 weeks later before I'm actually able to sit down with the DVD of the show and watch it,
Now,
well, that's just the life of a promoter, though.
Believe me, I understand as someone who does announcer and also been cast in various hats, so to speak. It's like I actually get a chance to, when I'm doing commentary, I get a chance to watch. Other than that, I have to wait for the replay.
Right. Yeah, that's usually me. I have to wait for the replay.
Now, let's take a look at it. VIP entry, and that would include picking up the front row Terry Funk Double Cross VIP package. Those are $50 a piece. That VIP entry is 6 o'clock p.m. Doors open for everybody else at 6:30 p.m. Bell time for the event's going to be 7:30 p.m., right?
Right.
And this, of course,
Yeah,
is
and in the VIP package, they also get they get a front row seat. They also get a signed 8x10 to them from Terry Funk, and they also get their photo made with Terry Funk, with, of course, their own camera or their phone, their choosing.
very
So
nice.
all of that is for the VIP package.
And I'm sure that that is in short supply right now.
Oh yes, they are quickly running out. We only had 80 to start with, because that's all we can fit for front row seats.
Right.
And also, you can buy a front row seat without the package, so for 20. So some people are opting for that. They're just buying one VIP and they're, buying 2 or 3 additional front rows.
Right.
So they only want one VIP for their family, and so. But Terry Funk will be taking photographs and signing autographs for fans, of course, for purchase that night.
Right.
So if you aren't able to get a VIP, you will still have a shot, if you'd like to get your autograph, and he'll, if you want to bring your items, your own personal items to be signed, we can work that out. We can also accept mail-in orders if you can't make the show and you have an item that you want signed. We accept those too.
Very nice.
They just need to message us so we can give them the details and the pricing. But yes, we will. We will accommodate for that too.
Very nice. Now, running the rest of this real quick, second row seats are available, $15 each. General admission seating, only $12 each. And children
Right.
5 through 11, $8 each that night.
Yep, in the general admissions section, yes.
And, of course,
That's right.
this is all going to take place Saturday, April the 9th, 2016 in Moxville at the National Guard Armory, 804 US 64 in Moxville. For those who are listening, you want to go ahead and type it in. 27028 is the zip code on that. Now, I know you've got sponsors for the event. I'm going to turn it over to you. It's all on you.
Yeah, the Discount Car Depot, LLC here in Moxville, North Carolina, is our main sponsor. And those guys are great down there. The best cars in the world from under $4,000. Those guys are fantastic. They actually, I was having some car trouble, and they fixed my car at a very, very reasonable rate. I was very shocked, and I was like, wow, that's all it was, and that's all you charged me? I was overwhelmed. So those guys, they do great work. Also, we have, I'm drawing a blank now.
I've got Joe's Towing.
We have Bruce Brothers Landscaping.
Okay.
Joe's Tow here in Moxville. We have Zico's Italian Cuisine here in Moxville. Also in Headlights Are Us in Concord, North Carolina. They also run a website, and they do business nationwide. Those guys are great too. They have, if you have a car and you need a headlight for any make or model, they probably have it or can get it, and they will save you money over going to the dealership. Those guys are phenomenal. They, like I said, they have their own website, Facebook page. They do a lot of business on eBay. Tail lights, turn signals. I mean, they've got it. They've got the whole deal.
Very cool.
And the owner of that is Mickey Cook, one of the finest human beings I've ever met. And I've told him this before, and I mean it when I told him. I said, if everyone in the world was like you, Mickey, we would have no reason to have police.
Nice.
Just one of the greatest human beings I've ever met.
Now, I know that advance tickets are on sale at the Discount Car Depot LLC, right?
Yes, sir. Or if they send us a private message to our Facebook page, we can make arrangements that way through PayPal, and they'll be able to pick up their tickets at the door.
Very nice. Stephen, can you come back on again with us before the show's over? Before the show comes up?
Oh, sure. I sure can. I'd be more than happy to.
Now, how can everybody track you and Big Time Wrestling Carolinas down on social media?
through our Facebook page. Big Time Wrestling Carolinas is our Facebook page for the promotion. And, of course, I have a personal page of Stephen Frye, Stephen with a V, Frye. That's the two main ways to keep track with us on social media. We haven't built a website. We just basically use our Facebook page.
Understandable.
For all of our info, which also has links to the Funk Seminar. It has the event page for April 9th on the page also. You can find all that info there.
Very cool. Stephen, always a pleasure, and definitely want to have you come back on again before the show hits. That way we can get the full rundown, find out exactly what's going on as Big Time Wrestling Carolinas presents Crowning of a Champion on Saturday, April the 9th. Brother, always a pleasure. Thank you, man.
Hey, thank you for having me on, Eddie. You guys do wonderful stuff here, and I appreciate it. You guys are great. Anytime you need a guest, you call me. I'll come on.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Porkchop himself, the one, the only, Stephen Frye with Big Time Wrestling Carolinas, right here on Beyond Ringside. Hang with us. Going to the bottom of the hour break. We'll be back right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holds, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find the Dream, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
This is the Crowd Wrestler fan, the authority Dave Wills. Yes, sir, damn it. You believe me, you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark MaBo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hello, this is Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, 8-time NWA World Tag Team Champions, and the true independent outlaw wrestler of the world. You're locked in Beyond Ringside.
Hello again, everybody, and this is Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Radio for the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself, Rob Hefner, and Brian Taylor, as we bring you our thoughts and feelings on the world of professional wrestling and everything in between. As my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks again for listening to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion. This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Let's do this thing. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live. Fast Eddie Layne over here. MaBo, welcome back, buddy.
Hello.
You have more people pronouncing your name in so many different ways. You know, one of these days we're going to do the full expose on that name. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought we already did that.
We did, but we did that years ago. No, a current day crowd's going to sit back and go, "Oh, wait a minute. Babs did MaBo the entire time, but Eddie says MaBo."
Well, Eddie says it the right way.
I even remember when our third favorite ring announcer of all time, Loud and Noxious.
No, he's our first.
I'm my first.
You're your first.
But even Loud and Noxious said MaBo.
Well, most people just say what they, see on the thing. They don't know the pronunciation until they hear other people say it. So
there you go. But for those listening, he did say, I get it right. Therefore, that's all I'm worried about. Everybody else, follow my lead.
For once, Eddie is right.
There you go. Special thank you to good friend of the family, Porkchop Stephen Frye, for coming on this evening with Big Time Wrestling Carolinas. Looking forward to it Saturday, April the 9th up in Mocksville, North Carolina. The event is called Crowning of a Champion. Who will be the first Big Time Wrestling Carolinas heavyweight champion? Will it be Crimson? Will it be Gunner? Will it be Ricky Reyes? If you're in the Mid-Atlantic states, April 9th, Mocksville will be the place to be.
Now, are you saying Mocksville or Knoxville?
Mocksville, Mocksville.
Okay, just for those who might not be able to differentiate the M from the N.
Right. Now, totally unrelated to the School of Hard Knoxville. There.
Or the Johnny Knoxville.
Oh my God.
Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Hey, I'm entitled to my opinion just like you're entitled to yours. Yeah.
Don't start.
Don't start none, won't be none. Now.
I told somebody last night that if they want to, they started to insult Enzo and Cass, and I told them, I was like, well, if you want to put our friendship in jeopardy, that's how you do it.
And we are effectively 3 full weeks away from WrestleMania 32. From Jerry World. Yay, team. Scary thought.
I thought we were talking about, you said Jerry World, I thought you were talking about Paris, France, Jerry Lewis.
No, completely different Jerry. No, Jerry Lewis was more comedic. Jerry John is just a clown.
With the waving and the lady and the, nice things.
Now, I'm going to do what you normally hate me to do, but I would normally save this for last call.
And that's, wait, hold on, that's what, talk?
Yeah, pretty much. No, but I'm going to go.
You've been doing that since the start of the show.
Pretty much. No, but I want to go ahead and shoot it back in your direction. And by the way, for those who are wondering, MaBo did have to disappear during the previous segment. He had some personal things to take care of. That's why and of course, fortunately, he's back, so I'm very happy for that. No, but it's been a while since you've actually had a chance to really go off what's been on your brain as far as our pro wrestling goes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it in your direction without even going last call. What's been the moments that have stood out to you, because it's been a couple of weeks?
I got nothing, boss.
Really?
I'll be honest with you, I got nothing. I mean, it's stand out, and I got nothing, boss.
Well, I was sitting back, and I'm going to turn this one to you, and because I want your input on this.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
It's not really wrestling related, but it is.
Okay.
But just bear with me on this. We all know the great, classical movie, The Princess Bride. And one of the stars was
Andre the Giant.
Okay. Well, a couple of years ago, Cary Elwes, who was Wesley / the Dread Pirate Roberts, he wrote a book called As You Wish. It was basically, and it was with the people, with the help of the people who were in the movie, Mandy Patinkin, Billy Crystal, Rob Reiner, Bill Goldman, Robin Wright, pretty much anybody who was still living. I think at the time, Peter Falk had passed, and of course Andre had passed. But it just basically goes into detail of, from pretty much pre-production to the end of the entire movie, and it has interviews of kind of at various points from the different cast and crew, And I was fortunate enough from Audible.com, that's Audible.com, to receive a free download. And one of the free downloads was As You Wish, as read by Carrie Always, with guest, I can't really say guest spots, but I guess, reading their own commentary, like Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal, Carrie Always, and all that stuff. And, they of course talk about Andre and how, at their first table read at the hotel in England where they were, everybody left for the night except Andre. He closed the bar down. And Andre's goal was to leave the hotel because he was not staying there. Unfortunately, Andre did not make it to the door. And everybody kind of recounts about how Andre made it to the lobby and decided to lay down and go to sleep. And slept all through the night until 10 o'clock in the morning, where he woke up with scared maids vacuuming around him while he was laying on one of the nice, fancy rugs or whatever in this swank British hotel. And I just, like I said, it's just they I've only made it up to right after their first table read. For those of you who don't know what a table read, it's when the entire cast and the heads of different departments and crews, they all sit around and they go through the script to kind of get an idea of how the movie's going to go. So I've only made it up to that part, and I know that there's numerous other Andre stories, and I can't wait to hear them. But for some, that's just kind of something I've been listening to. The audio book itself is about I think it's about 6 or 7 hours, just of Carrie Always, and various others talking about it. But I do recommend, get the book if you can, or go to Audible and get the free download if you're able to. So, but yeah, that's about as really wrestling related on my mind as I can get.
Well, taking a look at the notes, 29 years ago today in Tokyo, Japan, Riki Choshu Choshu, depending on how you want to pronounce it, defeated Mitsuhara Misawa, then wrestling as Tiger Mask 2 at an All-Japan wrestling event in Budokan Hall. This was the first meeting between the two and would actually go down as one of the greatest matches in Japanese wrestling history. March 13th, 15 years ago today on Raw is War from East Rutherford, New Jersey, Dean Malenko defeated Essa Rios to win the light heavyweight championship, which of course would be turned into a different belt a little bit later on. Earlier in the same show,
it was more merged, but
yeah, still.
But at the time, was a certain redheaded, too extreme young lady still with Essa Rios? Because I believe she was.
I don't remember. That is actually that's not referenced in my notes.
Yeah, but I do remember that. A lot of people, don't remember her. Or very few remember her coming in with Essa Rios. And those of us who really remember her as one of the Godfather's ladies a couple of times.
Yup.
And remember her as Miss Congeniality in ECW, the good ECW.
Also on that same episode, I can't even say it without even just dying laughing and waiting for something negative to happen to me. Pete Gas defeated Crash Holly in Newark Airport to win the WWF Hardcore Championship, but during Raw, Crash would win it back from Pete.
Hey, buddy, I'm telling you right now, everybody's wanting or expecting the Bullet Club to maybe show up and help Shane during the Hell in a Cell at Mania. But I swear on everything that's holy, if we do not get either at Mania or before Mania some kind of appearance by Rodney and Pete Gas, Joey Abs, he wasn't a real member of the Mean Street Posse. He wasn't really one of Shane's friends. He's Jason Art from North Carolina, wrestled as Venom.
Okay.
Out of Omega, out of the Hardy's old company.
Right.
He wasn't ever a true Mean Street Posse, but Pete Gas and Rodney those are people don't know this, but those are Shane's real friends in real life. So I'm begging, pleading, I'm praying that the Mean Street Posse shows up. I mean, you know, obviously not to cost the Undertaker the match or whatever. I mean, hopefully that's what the Bullet Club will do. But I'm begging the Mean Street Posse to show up. Because there's two people who are going to crap themselves, three people who's going to crap themselves if the Mean Street Posse shows up. That is myself, my buddy Jeff, and I know most importantly, 2 Tons of Agony will crap his pants.
Probably. Now, also on this date in history, WWE held their Hall of Fame ceremony at the Hilton in New York. It was 11 years ago. It would be the first Hall of Fame ceremony for the company since 1996. The ceremony.
Yes, that's where when you and I were talking about, and had Ivan Koloff, had he had gone in, and I could have swore before they really started, broadcasting and whatnot. My thing was, that's what I was figuring. I figured Ivan might have gone in before the
8-year break.
Huh?
The 8-year break.
Yeah, the 8-year break. But if you notice, from when they first started doing it to 1996, they would maybe do 1, 2, 3 people at most,
right,
at a time. But then in 2004, when they made the comeback, that's when they started ramping up, doing multiple people.
Right.
And so yeah, I actually just looked at that when we were during our first break before the interview. That's what I was looking at.
The 2004 class included Jesse Ventura, Don Morocco, Tito Santana, Superstar Billy Graham, Sergeant Slaughter, Greg Valentine, Bobby Heenan, Harley Race, Pete Rose, and posthumous inductions for Big John Studd and Sylvester Ritter, known as the legendary Junkyard Dog. Ivan Koloff has still not been inducted. Neither is Rick Martel.
Like I said, but there's a couple of others. I mean, everybody's already, Owen Hart, which if he doesn't go in next year, along with, I would say Owen Hart, and I'm going to say, as long as they stay in good graces, I'm going to say he and Daniel Bryan will be your big two next year.
No, Daniel Bryan should have to. They should actually wait a couple of years on that.
Well, hey, they didn't. How many years did they wait on Edge? They didn't.
Right, I know.
So what's the difference? Exactly.
Edge had a much longer, illustrious WWE-based career than Daniel Bryan.
Okay, but as far as the quicker ascension and the fans glomming onto.
Okay, Daniel Bryan technically started as a neutral character. Edge started as a neutral / heelish character with the Brood. And
well, I mean, because that's what I was kind of. Have you had a chance to watch the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness?
I've watched one. That's all I can handle.
Is it that? Do you think it's that bad?
I've watched one.
Okay, so that means, boys and girls, Eddie does not care for it.
Okay, to be honest with you, the one that I did watch was okay. It was good. Was it great? No. Was it a hodgepodge? Yes. Was it what I expected? I don't know what to expect from Edge and Christian. Was it what I hoped for? I didn't really have any hopes going into this. I'm serious. Okay. Table for Three. Excellent series.
Oh, yes, very excellent. I wish they would do some more.
Ride Along, not bad.
I like Ride Along. I think, even though they have a couple more in the can, obviously, with like the Usos and Naomi and
who farted in the van.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's supposed to be, they're going to be one half and Reigns and Ambrose are going to be the other. That means, well, it did say it was a short form series.
Right.
Well, you don't get any shorter form than just 2 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much. But see, by the same token, I think that they've already accomplished a lot of what they could do with Ride Along in Table for Three.
Well, no, but here's the thing. Table for Three, you might have people that might not necessarily ride together, or that you can't really, you don't really that aren't even active, like when they did the WCW or the first Manias, people, or what have you. To me, that's them sitting down and discussing the business, discussing their careers. That's what I see Table for Three as. If you look at, prime example. If you look at the New Day Table for Three.
Oh, that was good.
And the New Day Ride Along, two totally different things. The
True.
New Day Table for Three, yeah, were they being silly? Yeah, a little bit, but they were mainly focusing on how they got there and how the whole New Day thing came about. New Day Ride Along, they got to be themselves, and that's what a lot of fans want to see. They want to see what are these guys? First of all, what do these guys and ladies have to go through to on the road? A lot of people think, they all hop in jets and they all fly around. No. And by the way, if Cena wasn't on the road, or if Cena wasn't out hurt, yeah, you wouldn't have seen Nikki and Brie driving together. Nikki would have been in that personal bus with Cena. That's how they roll. Don't lie. But no, I mean seriously, she rides with him. I mean, why not? They're dating.
No, I just cracked my knee on the corner of my desk. Leave me alone.
Oh, okay. But I mean, it's just two different ways. Two different things. Edge and Christian, to me, it's if they would have had the opportunity to have their own little show back. If the network would have existed back during the Attitude Era, when they were at their peak, this would have been. It's just them being. I think to me, it's just them being silly, having fun. They just did their bracket of suctitude, which was all the I mean, personally, I don't want to give it away, but it was horrible gimmicks, and they kind of voted on all the way down to who was the worst gimmick. I disagree. There was a lot worse gimmicks that's been out there, but to me, it's just them being stupid and having fun, and just being silly. How did we get to that from the Hall of Fame?
I have no damn idea. Because of Edge.
Yeah. But I mean, because of that, though, it made me kind of. And what's funny is if you go back and watch the Stone Cold podcast that had Edge and Christian, they even sit there and say, and this was well before that show came about. They even sit there and say, hey, they're joking around, and they're like, maybe out of this we'll get a network show.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting a network show. But Edge talks about going into through the next year, and they talk about. Edge will even tell you, he was like, when I was first approached with this, he was like, they wanted me to wear leather pants and read poetry. He was like, I didn't know what to do. So, to me, Edge, it was funny too. And when he said this, I kind of flashed back. He goes, whenever I would get stuck on something or frustrated, he was like, I would just scream. And I remember Edge raging, when he first debuted, like on Shotgun Saturday Night or what have you.
Right.
He would sit there and you would just see him go, "Rah!" and just scream. So it was kind of funny to find out about that. But Edge really didn't. He literally was just there. Quick side note: the first time I ever saw an Edge promo or Edge promo trailer, I guess you'd call it, teaser package. I guess the words are moving around a lot. I thought his name was going to be Hodges.
Really?
It was seriously, it was bouncing around. I was like, because I remember even going to work the next day and talking to some people who were wrestling fans. I'm like, who is this Hodges kid? So, but I mean, whether Daniel Bryan, waits or not, I'm telling you though, next year Owen Hart needs to go in. I thought, Nikita or Ivan Koloff had already gone in, so definitely, why not Ivan Koloff? Or at least induct the Koloffs together.
No, it should be separate. I'm sorry, it should be separate.
No, I mean, I agree, but I'm just saying, if that's the only way, then that's the only way.
Right, because if you induct Ivan and Nikita as two separate entities, I think it holds a lot more water than it does if you induct them as the Koloffs. It cheapens the fact now, don't get me wrong, huge fan of what Nikita did. He made the most out of a limited talent base and limited moveset, and got better as he went along.
Hey, made me believe he was Russian growing up.
And that's the syllabication he used. But yeah, I really think Ivan should go in. Ivan should go in 1 year, and then Nikita go in the next.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, and not to downplay them, but they're going to be put in as quote unquote secondary. So,
see, for me, that's wrong too, because of the fact that Ivan is a former a champion under his father.
Well, I mean, if you want to sit there and because I mean, they've actually kind of changed it, especially when they started airing it, the past year or so on the network, where you'd get to see the whole thing. Remember when they would air it, they would record it, they would do it live for the audience or whatever, and then they would edit it down and throw it on like at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Remember, they would have your big two or three.
I know.
Yeah, and then like you would just be wondering like, oh look, there's the Blackjacks just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I mean, hell, that's what they did with Sheik and Volkov.
Right.
Remember, Sheik and Volkov just sat there. Iron Sheik.
No, you don't trust Iron Sheik too much with a live microphone, especially if there's a camera involved.
I know, but what I'm saying though is, think of what Sheik did. He was the one that was the, I guess you could say, the quote unquote catalyst for Hogan to win the belt and for the start of Hulkamania.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
So, but I mean, okay, let's say Daniel Bryan doesn't go in next year, which I think they should wait a couple of years. I mean, unless it's posthumously.
Thank you.
But I mean, unless it's posthumously, I do think that definitely people should wait. Wait a couple of years in case they do decide to unretire or whatever.
At least in the NFL, you have a 5-year window.
Yeah, I mean, it don't necessarily have to be 5, but God, at least go 2 or 3.
3.
But, okay.
I'll go 3.
Okay, so
unless it's posthumous.
Yeah, unless it's posthumous. Okay, I mean, would you agree that Owen should go in?
Owen should have already been in.
Well, yeah, but we know his wife and the thing and the stuff.
Yeah, the thing and the stuff. I know. Owen should have already been in.
Okay, now and not trying to, and also it's subjective to who you think is considered, I guess, main event or big headliner as opposed to as other people would, because obviously an older generation is going to think like an Ivan should definitely be up there, but as opposed to this newer generation who they think should go in or who they would even remember. So
okay,
obviously,
folks.
Owen,
Wait. Hold on.
Okay.
I've got a very simple statement that I'm going to put right there, and some people just heard me because I was actually running over you on this one. I don't care about an age demographic in any particular regard, because if you put Owen as the 1 and Ivan as the 2 next year, as far as in reverse order, what order they accept, you are going to have people looking up footage of the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff from the WWF days, from the WWF days, and it's out there, trust me, as well as from the NWA era. And they will see the fact that this man should have been in there a long time ago. So for all the tweeners out there, chronologically speaking, for all of the millennials, I hate that word. It's almost degrading. But
well, it should be the way some of them act.
Yeah, I know. True. No, I don't care about an age demo, about what age bracket wants who to go in when. I think the right thing to do, regardless of age demo, is the factor that Martel should be in, Owen should be in, Rick Rude should be in, Ivan should be in without any hesitation whatsoever.
But it's not you, and it's not even.
You're right. It's Vince.
It's exactly.
I've said that for years. It's Vince McMahon's Hall of Fame.
Yes, it's who Vince thinks is going to, I guess, quote unquote, get the. You can't really say buy rates with it being on the network, but
that's buy
who's
rates.
going to get the most attention.
Right.
So obviously, but I mean, I guess of the who Vince would consider the big names, who is left? Keep in mind, I mean, I know that basically
shouldn't have had 11 people go in for that 2004 class.
Okay, well, here's the thing. To clear your mind. Think only of yourself.
What's different?
And your misplaced feelings for your attractive daughter.
Also, go about 3 to 5 years behind the times. Become an egomaniac. And now, other than Owen, who should go in the Hall? What other big name should go in the Hall of Fame?
I just said Rude.
You think Rude? You think Vince would push Rude?
No.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It took forever to get Savage in there. It took forever to get Warrior in there, God rest his soul.
Well, it took, the reason why it took those to go in there is because, you know.
I mean, we have Hunter to thank for for Warrior going in. Hunter was the one who started to mend that fence, and I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That, you know, that's thanks to Hunter. But, like, has Bam Bam gone in? Bam Bam Bigelow.
I don't think he has.
I don't think Bam Bam Bigelow has either.
Right.
Do you induct Akeem or do you induct One Man Gang?
Yeah, that's a question mark.
Yep.
But do me a favor. I know we're running against the top of the hour. Do you want to go one more, or do you want to go ahead and head for the ranch?
What time is it?
7:03 Central.
Let's go ahead and dip because I got some stuff I got to take care of.
A couple other news stories I wanted to hit real quick. This 6 years ago today, March 13th, Andrew Robert Patrick Martin, best known as Test, was found in his home, or found dead in his home in Tampa, Florida. He was just age 33.
Also, what year was that?
Huh?
What year?
According to the notes I have, it was 6 years ago today.
Wow, so Tess and I are roughly the same age.
Yeah, thereabouts. Also, on this day in history, the Golden Boy, Arnold Skolin, passed away. Most notably known as far as managerial statistics go for being the manager for Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund. 4 years ago today, WWE announced that Drew Carey would be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The induction was pretty much more of a promotional deal, as around the time The Price is Right host was promoting a new series for the Game Show Network, a series that pretty much lasted all of 8 weeks. Yeah, really. So many.
Have they announced a celebrity for this year?
To my knowledge, no.
I wonder if we're going to have one.
Betty White.
Betty White, Bob Barker, or Maria Menounos.
Maria Menounos has not even gotten in yet? And she's still hot. She's still hot, too. No, you can't twist that one. I was very meticulous in my wording. You can't turn that one around.
No, you just said, has she gotten in yet? I was like, I don't know, Peck Boy, you tell me.
See, once again, you tried to play it. It didn't work. Ha ha. And I haven't gotten in either. 4 years ago today, TNA presented Victory Road for the Impact Zone at Universal Orlando. The show was noted for its short main event. The event yes. In the days that the event won the wrestling. Oh God, screw that. I'm not even mentioning that person's name or his website. In the days that followed that, Jeff Hardy was indefinitely suspended from the company, and TNA offered fan who ordered the show 6 months of free TNA on demand. Tommy Dreamer defeated Bully Ray. No disqualification, falls count anywhere match. Rosita and Sarita. God, I miss both of them. Defeated Angelina Love and Winter to win the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Hernandez defeated Matt Morgan in a first blood match. Kazarian.
I remember that one. That one was terrible.
Kazarian defeated Robbie E., Jeremy Buck, and Max Buck. Who are those young bucks? In an Ultimate X match to retain the TNA X Division title, Beer Money defeated Inc. to retain the TNA World Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles defeated Matt Hardy. Mr. Anderson and Rob Van Dam fought to a double countout to determine the number one contender for the world title. Sting defeated Jeff Hardy in just 88 seconds to retain the TNA Heavyweight Championship, and that went 87 seconds too damn long.
That was rough.
Yeah, it was. That sucked. But I wanted to throw those out there for everybody on this day in wrestling. I know this. We talk about the week that was and everything else, but I wanted to go ahead and pick March 13th because of some definite incidents, including the Sting Jeff Hardy scenario that you can forgive but never forget. That's all I'm going to say.
Wait, how long ago was that? 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a few years.
Okay, well, no, I think you said 4 years, right?
Yeah, I did.
Look at the turnaround Jeff Hardy has had in those 4 years.
Yes, amazing, and I'm appreciative of it too. I thank God that it was able to turn around.
Clean and sober. I think he's got. I know he had. He and his wife had. I know he got married. maybe even I think they had 2 kids at this point. I know definitely 1.
Yeah.
So good for him.
But I'm going to go and throw it in your direction. Mark MaBo Bowman, last call.
No, not really. Not really think. Go out there, and I know Excellence Pro had a wonderful show last night, from what I've heard. Go check that out. Big rumblings coming up for Pro South with their Trinity tournament. I think they've got coming up. Go track them down on Facebook, or Ace Haven, and see what they got going on. New South. I don't know if did you ever have the crew from New South on to promote their show?
No, they were not able to make it on.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that they had 2 great turnouts this past Friday and Saturday in Tennessee and in Hartsville, Alabama. So, anybody who goes out there, just long story even longer. Any company that goes out there and bust their butts to put on a great show for their fans, good on you. If you're out there, if you're going out there and doing it legit for their fans and not trying to, run a air quotes benefit show for somebody and then taking their money, as long as you're out there putting on the best show that you can for your fans and getting the names out there of people who might not have the opportunity to get their name out there, then good for you, and keep up the good work.
Been getting updates about the PWE show. PWE. Sorry about that. I've had 6 companies on the brain. Okay, cool. Today up in, God, let me get back to the beginning of his notes.
North Carolina?
Yeah. PWX Rise of Champions 11 took place earlier today. The main event was a War Games style match with the Revolt and the Bravados, along with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, legendary, taking on the Experience with C.W. Anderson. And Steve, which Carino? He didn't say. Thank you, Schmidtke. He's probably listening right now going,
of course.
There you go. But Colby was on the show too. But from that vantage point,
the Experience of Gunner, Corey Hollis, John Schuyler, and Adam
Page.
Yep.
But the combination of the
think,
Revolt. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, my honest opinion, I think Ring of Honor would benefit greatly from having this faction in there.
Oh, tremendously.
Of course, the Revolt being led by the birthday boy today, Man Scout Jake Manning.
Nice.
So.
But I want to thank Schmidtke for all the updates from PWX. Wish we could have made it up there. It would have been a tremendous day of pro wrestling action. And
do we have an update? Do we have an update though on if he ever found some grilled chicken breast for Corey Hollis?
I do not know. I did not get that update, but I do note that the Revolt and the Bravados with Steamboat won the main event, the War Games match.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm more interested in the chicken breast.
Of course you would be, you sick man. Tell you what, let's take it on in. MaBo, last call, unless that was it.
Let's just go on home.
Shameless plugs?
No, I'm good.
Okay, let me find this over here, and that's not the one I'm looking for. And I knew there was something I was forgetting to do, so let me go ahead and say this. Ladies and gentlemen, for our friends in Eastern Alabama and Western Georgia, next Saturday, and that is going to be March 19th, the Beyond Ringside family of shows is going to be very well represented as Peach State Wrestling Alliance presents The Quest to Be the Best Part 2. The Heritage Title Tournament continues. It's going to be at I always put the historic in front of the historic VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway in Carrollton, Georgia. PWA Heritage Title Tournament action. First round bracketing continues. Tommy Too Much taking on Kevin Blue. Bill the Butcher taking on Chris Spectra. Tyson Dean taking on P-Dog Mike Posey. And Romeo taking on Kyle Matthews. All 4 of these matches are going to blow the roof off that place. In non-tournament action, Sal Renaro will be taking on Jacob Ashworth. And in a ladies' challenge match, America Strong will be taking on Calm Like a Bomb Pandora. Doors are going to open at 7 o'clock p.m. Start time 8 p.m. Ticket information, get in touch with 770-328-1162. You can find Peach State Wrestling Alliance on Facebook, on Twitter at TheRealPWA. Of course, definitely check them out on YouTube. PWAFanbase@yahoo.com is the email address, and the main website itself is PeachStateWrestlingAlliance.com. Also, for a lot of us on the Beyond Ringside family of shows, Rhodes will be aiming toward Pell City, Alabama, Saturday, March 26th, as Global Championship Wrestling returns with round 2 of the JYD Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Got a lot of things going on. Had a great outing last night in Dalton, Georgia, combined show between GCW and DCW. Was unable to make that ride along up there last night. I was actually doing a private party last evening, so I had a great time, and I hope everybody had a great time in Dalton. And, of course, looking now toward re-gearing everything toward March 26th in Pell City, Alabama. That part having been accomplished, we're going to have a lot more information on both of those outings coming up in this week. Let's run this down real quick. Live programming will continue later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, with Corner to Corner. And I'm still working on updates from Reverend Dan Wilson as far as it goes with the Midnight Black Mass. Keeping my eyes open for those updates, and also going to get Reverend Dan on. We're going to sit down and have a nice little discussion about what happened recently at Empire and the ramifications of that attack on the good Reverend. On Tuesday the 15th, Double Trouble. GCW Radio returns this Tuesday, March 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Back to Basics will go live at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And on Wednesday, March 16th, the To Be Determined Show, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Join the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, and the whole cast. We're going to see how things work out as far as it goes with March 19th in the Shooters Gallery. Going to play it by ear from there because the tribe is considering making a trip to Six Flags, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Remember, at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, and of course, BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net, the homes for Beyond Ringside, and just now adding a new venue, OneWrestlingRadio.net. Thanks for playing. The game just changed again. Thank you, Stephen Frye, for coming on this evening. Always a pleasure, and we're going to work some things out for the next couple of weeks. Stephen will be rejoining us just before Big Time Wrestling Carolina's upcoming live event, and we may have some surprises Stephen's going to send our way, too. Let's take it home. For my tag team partner, the inimitable Mark MaBo Bowman.
I like the donuts. Inimitables?
Inimitable. Which means you can't be imitated. And everybody just went, thank God.
Inimitable?
Inimitable.
Inimitable. Inimitable?
Yes, inimitable. It's one word. Inimitable.
Inimitable.
Yes.
Okay, then how come I'm saying inimitable and you're saying whatever you're saying?
Inimitable.
Inimitable.
That's what I said. Inimitable.
Inimitable. Put the T in there. That's what's throwing me off.
Inimitable. That's what I said. There's a T in there.
You're going inimitable.
Look, abominable.
Abominable?
Abominable.
Abominable. Inimitable.
No, abominable is Bugs Bunny, calling the abominable snowman abominable.
Yeah, but you said inimitable.
I said inimitable.
Yeah, inimitable.
Inimitable. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Well, when you slow it down, you can hear the T, but when you say it, it sounds like there's a D.
Until next time, I'm the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, saying adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, I'll be son of a bitch. Thank you for joining us, and join us next time as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.